here in a couple of seconds' time. Let's go live! Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back here today with my elven companions and compatriots for a new season of Court of the Elves. Very excited to be back here today with our very first episode. We're premiering tonight. Unfortunately, we're missing a couple of players. I think time zones have probably gotten the best of us and sleep, because for still it's like 5 or 6 a.m. at the moment, but we should have some other players joining us. Nonetheless, though, we're going to continue, go ahead and strive into the Court of the Elves with our very own Dungeon Master, Wise Papa Grant. How you doing, my friend?
By the video quality on your screen, I am pale and glowing. I'm actually traveling this week. I will be in Tampa, Florida, in the United States for the next 2 days, and then I'll be off to PAX Unplugged. But I've made myself available to run this initial session of Court of the Elves.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's go around a cast and crew of players, and let's figure out who we are and who we're playing. Of course, you can find our character sheets here online on the website. Yes, looking very radiant tonight. We have Mr. Zippy Zippo with us today. How you doing, my friend?
Hello.
Hello.
Big summer blowout. Hi, I'm Zippy Zippo. I'm really excited to be here. Can't you just see it?
I feel it.
Good, feel it. Today I will be playing Zakar the Hell Knight. He is a paladin of conquest, and he's also a Minotaur.
Yeah, I noted that when I was writing the overlays this morning. I was like, Minotaur, that's going to be sick. I can't wait to see that.
Throwing some unearthed arcana.
Oh, shit. What up? Well, we also have James Hake with us today. How you doing, James?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back on Encounter Roleplay.
Yes. Welcome to the cast, my friend. Welcome.
Yeah, today I'll be playing Basilio of Avar. He is a noble half-elf, and he is a bard belonging to the College of Glamour. So I'm throwing down some brand new Xanathar's Guide to Everything magic on this series.
Oh my good lord! I feel like I'm left out now. I feel like I haven't gone enough into the Xanathars or the Unearthed Arcana. I'm gonna make some shit up. I'm gonna go on a D&D. I'm gonna go on a D&D wiki right now.
Oh no!
Oh shit! Well,
I'm a dinosaur man.
Yes, I am going to be the Spider Queen.
I'm a toothpaste whisperer.
Really, you just have to watch the Persia Wiki series on YouTube, and I can find some shit for you. But hey, I'll be playing Gerald, the Aasimar cleric today. I once played an Aasimar cleric a good few months back on a channel. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to being even more radiant than elves in this. I thought, how could I go even more snooty, even more haughty than elves? Aasimar.
You could be British.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Oh no!
Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I've got to go. I'm kidding. Well, yes, that's our cast and crew for today. We should have a Silver, we should have Madame Garl, hopefully today. If not, they'll be back next week, I'm sure. But let's begin tonight's show, Court of the Elves. Grant, talk to me about tonight's campaign.
All right, so tonight's campaign is set in the same universe as the Brave New Worlds campaign that we followed last season. The difference being that this campaign takes place in a land across the sea in the Kingdom of Desalee, which is known as the Ruby Empire. Desalee is led, it's a nation of old races, elves, dwarves, and desert gnomes. Goliath caravans roam the streets, and our heroes, the adventurers that play in this campaign, are members of the Court of the Elves, the Empress High Court, and they have positions of favor and privilege within the court, as well as their own motives and agendas. And this adventure will begin. Could go up on volume. I could also sit closer. Let me know.
Yeah, you can bump yourself up a little bit, yeah. A wee bit quiet there.
Am I better, everyone?
Am I better now? Am I fixed?
Let me scoot closer.
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of my glowing face.
No. You're good. You're good.
I need some color in this skin. But this adventure begins in the city of Rosetta, which is the capital of the Empire of Desalee. And it actually takes place in the home of Zakar, who are Minotaur Paladin. Now, Zakar, it is a time of festivity and frivolity in your home. What is the cause of this celebration?
It is my youngest daughter's, Anne Marie's, 70th birthday.
You say your youngest daughter. How many daughters do you have in your family?
I have 3 Elvish daughters that Zakar has adopted from various battlegrounds that the Minotaur have kind of rampaged through, whether it had been for pillaging or settling differences between 2 different races. They've been known to do that. Zakar will never kill a child, so he comes across like this elvish babe and picks it up into his arms, and he just starts collecting in a weird way. he finds 3 elvish babies and picks them up and like begins to care for them. You know, you find a bird with a broken wing, you kind of nurse it back to health, and then you give it a name, and then you gotta keep it.
Now, for this party, you recruited a performer, one Basilio from the College of Glamour. Basilio, what sort of entertainment are you providing for these 3 Elvish daughters and their Minotaur father, who insists on chaperoning the event?
Basilio is a singer and a songwriter. He's basically the modern pop singer of this region, of this empire. He comes from a noble family, and so he knows all the old songs, and he has a little bit of money to flash around. So he has hired a couple of musicians to back him up. You know, there's like a drum kit and a fife player and all of that. And at this party right now, it's in sort of this common room, and he is up on a stage that he has cobbled together, and he's just finishing up the last song in, I don't know, his first set. It's right before a break in the entertainment.
All right. And how well is he known in the area as a performer? Is he renowned? Is he still, are the hipsters still cool with him?
Renowned maybe for his family, but not for his skill as musician. He's good, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for having a lot of money.
He's bought his way to fame. Just then, there is a knock at the door, and Zakar, what do you do?
Zakar would be sitting in it would be like a living room. All the architecture is Elvish, except for Zakar's chair. You don't touch his chair. His chair looks like kind of like a Conan-esque throne. You know, you got skulls of various animals, you know, on the armrests, and then like right above the head. And he's like sitting there, and he's looking at all the boys that were invited, and he's like scraping a whetstone across his great axe, similar to, you know, the protective father polishing the shotgun kind of deal. When he hears the knock, he puts the axe like to the side and leans it up against the throne. He gets up and he walks over to the door, and he looks at the boys and kind of like gives them all like one of these, and he opens the door. What do you want?
Okay, so you open the door.
I open the door.
When the door opens, the door's a mimic. No, I'm just messing.
Damn it.
Thank you, chat. No, sorry. Keep us on our toes. So the door opens. You notice there's 2 gentlemen. One you recognize. The other is slightly less familiar. You've heard rumors of him, but you have never seen him. Nobody expects the Elven Inquisition, essentially. So the High Inquisitor, Gerald, who is known as the Queen's or the Empress's Angel. will describe your character and his physicality to us.
So, he would hasten to be named Gerald rather than Gerald.
Sorry, Gerald.
But it's okay. He would smite you down for that. He is a Scourge Asimar, so he's not... whilst he's been called an angel by title, he doesn't look particularly angelic anymore. A little bit more demonic, I think, than anything else. Wings kind of tattered at his back. Carries a quarterstaff that he leans upon, but the wood is gnarled and old and broken and splintered. He's got dark eyes that loom out of his face, and he's got a very hawkish-looking nose as well, narrow and thin, that kind of points out. And I look at Zakar. I believe we were invited.
And he's accompanied by another man who also has a dark, grim, and fell demeanor about him. Most of the elves, for those that are not familiar with my campaign, first-generation elves underwent a ritual that disfigured and scarred most of their bodies, and they have what is known as the mark upon them. Second generation elves, it takes the manifestation of almost like natural tattoos. But first generation elves like this one actually have physical elements of nature protruding from their body. So this one, half his face, it's almost as if rock formations are coming out. And he has eyes that glow with a fire. And he speaks, he goes, Zakar, by order of the Empress, and with all her authority, we have need for you to make an arrest tonight.
I motion Gerald in, and I place like a big meaty hand on the chest of this elf. Look, it is my daughter's birthday. We are having festivities. I will arrest him tomorrow. And I slam the door.
You notice as he slows, as you go to close the door, go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
You got it.
I raise an eyebrow.
So 13 beats 12.
Okay.
So you go to close it, he stops it, he goes, Zakar, duty to the Empress is ahead of your daughter.
A resplendent offering.
Zakar kind of looks at him, and he opens the door, pulls him in, and he brings him up just enough so he can feel like the heat from like his Minotaur breath. Nothing takes precedence over my daughter's happiness. Do you understand?
Duty to crown takes place before any daughter's happiness. And you must do it, for it is the rule, or else we'll have you arrested.
Yes, I would rather...
Isn't that right, Inquisitor?
Yes, I would rather see every man's daughter here be slain before my eyes than a wanted criminal walking out. It may very well be a birthday party, Zakar, but this is important now. Show some loyalty.
Zakar, may we speak for a moment in private?
Why don't we
Fine.
all get some drinks and let's calm down. And actually, that's a bit of a segue into Arvor's donation. New series, let's see if we can break this from the start. A round of drinks, the first one on Arvor. Thank you, my friend. It's a D100 for this new table of drinks that we got going here.
Oh, I
get around.
They donated to drinks. They donated to the show. They donated one to Zippy. And so let's go. I'm sorry, I'm not good.
Oh man, I get +2 to my intimidation for the next 1d4 rounds. However, I have to make a constitution save, else I'll dry heave. Let's see if
I hit it with an 80.
Oh. Let's see what my con is here. These drinks are strange. And an 80 for you, Zakar, is the Gillen Special. All the different flavors allow a consumer to become inspired. You gain, this is interesting, you gain +1 to your dexterity.
Wow, cool.
And I guess we could convert this to advantage on any cooking or crafting checks that may come up for you. Did you make these? Delicious.
Actually, no, that was my daughter, Risa. Risa, come here. Come.
And then one last D100 from James, if you could roll us one for Basilio.
There we go. 78.
Oh, you get the Brimstone Brew. After drinking this brew, the character must make a DC 8 Constitution saving throw or hear an unintelligible whispering plaguelum. Ooh.
4.
So
what's going on?
It's a strange, unintelligible whispering is the curse of this brew.
Oh, it must have been the late night last night.
Perhaps so. I let Zakar take my companion to one side, though.
Yeah, I call over Risa, the middle daughter, and say, "Please show Gerald to the food, refreshments, and get him settled. I'm going to talk with this one."
Yes, I'd like to have a conversation with you, Risa. Come with me.
Hands to yourself. If I see a hair out of place, we're going to have words, Gerald.
I have no intention in defiling your daughter in any way.
He prefers Gerald.
Yes.
Okay. So Sylvester, he pulls you to the side and he takes you to the back room, and essentially he says, "Zakar, the Empress has fallen. Even now, she lays dying."
I stroke like this braid of beard that I have coming from my chin. What ails her?
Thank you, Charis.
We're not too certain. She took dizzy and fell, but the physicians feel that it is the Sangre Sombra virus, the shadow blood. Now, you know that a plague is infecting the city. It's been quarantined to a pretty small quarter of town, but it's been very difficult to treat. A lot of this has to do with the massive religious ban that has kept practicing priests, clerics, and physicians outside of the city walls. But it appears that the Empress has contracted this rare and lethal disease.
Tell me more about this man that I'm supposed to apprehend.
You should know him. He was in the courts about 2 weeks ago. A gnomish chap by the name of Vincenzo.
Vincenzo.
He is a courtier.
Do you believe that he infected the Empress? What is he charged?
He delivered a musical box to her. That is the only sign we can think of, or evidence, or change, or variance in the palace. He delivered a music box. The Empress listened to it. 7 days later, she fell. That may seem like a large span of time, but we suspect he's the one, and he should be questioned, and we need Gerald to do the questioning.
Fine. And he huffs his belt up a little bit. He's not wearing pants, but he huffs it up, kind of deal. And he walks into the living room, main room, the meeting room, grabs his axe, goes over to Valeria, his oldest, and gives her like a kiss on the forehead. You're in charge. No sex, no canoodling. And if any boys touch your sister, kill them for me. And he reaches over and he grabs like this Minotaur-sized cutting knife, but it looks like just a normal sword to anybody else, and hands it to his daughter.
Now,
Well, all of this has been happening. Can I interject? So my first set ended just a couple of moments ago. Right before this, Inquisitor and his lieutenant arrived at the door. And what Basilio had been doing was that he had just got off stage and he was looking to network, let's call it, with the master of the house. And seeing that this was going on, he grew intrigued. This is not an ordinary situation that's transpiring. And I would like to sort of post facto sneak up behind them and eavesdrop upon their conversation.
okay, you actually picked up everything. There's no reason why you wouldn't. You are keen at listening to voices in the court, and you are also pretty good at being undetected. And I assume by networking, you mean asking for your pay. You know, we're
Basically.
you said up front. You said cash up front. The car never pays up front. But essentially, you've sort of picked up, and now Zakar and Silvestro come out from the back room into the main room, and you've heard all of this. And then he calls out, okay, so let's make sure we go order of operations. So Zakar has made his speech to the ladies and, you know, announced that they will remain chaste and true during this time. And with that, Silvestro actually calls out, he goes, little drummer boy, fifist, and vocalist. And he raises an eye, kind of confused. Then he kind of narrows his eyes at you, leans in, he goes, aren't you the Baron's son?
While I'm on stage, all that matters is that I am Basilio and I'm singing for your party.
You are the Baron's son, aren't you? And he checks your hand for a signet ring. Do you have one on?
Indeed I do.
And yeah, he identifies it. He goes, you must come with us and assist in the arrest.
By
order of the Empress.
Very well. If you don't need me for the second set, I'll gladly join you. I'm actually very giddy on the inside, but I'm trying to low roll him.
He's only going to pay you for half. One set, half pay. Looks at
Fine.
Zakar.
Deal.
No. Wait a minute.
I would like to be having this conversation with, was it Risa?
You were with
Yes.
Risa.
If I get a moment to. Grant, do you see that wild magic surge which Zakar rolled?
Yes. I
love it.
didn't want to interrupt the flow, but I got a 63-37.
I think I need a little bit of interpretation.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it reads, target is, by his very nature, impossible.
Oh, so he's the target.
Yeah, he's the target. So Zakar is the target of wild magic surge. You're completely impossible.
It's just because my feeling is
You're just
okay.
impossible.
Yeah, because I'm like, by his very nature.
I'm-
All right, so Zakar,
It works.
by your very nature, you are impossible.
I
You
am
might start making some
impossible.
more demands.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna speak with this Risa girl and say, tell me, girl, how long have you lived in this household?
Well,
Fucking hell.
I've been here a long while, and it's not really any
Yes.
of your business.
Oh, but I'm afraid that it is. You see, I am the High Inquisitor of the Empress. It is my express duty to find any criminals that might be in the vicinity, and you are currently hosting one. So I just want to make sure that everything here is above board, as it were.
Who is the criminal? Looks around.
Have you seen a gentleman round here, perhaps with a music box?
Oh, you're referring to Vincenzo.
That is correct.
Nah, he frequents the taverns. He either Trick's Tavern or he's at his shop across town.
Have you seen him here tonight?
No,
Are you lying
have
to
not.
me, Risa? Don't lie
I
to
have
me.
not, and you know she's not lying.
Good. I smile somewhat menacingly. Then I believe our business here is done. The shrimp was delicious, by the way.
Yeah, and what she does is she gives you an almost sarcastic smile. She just goes, "Eh," and then and then like kind of looks you up and down then to her father, like, "Is he for real?" One of the other daughters speak up. Valeria speaks up. She's like, "Why do you look so weird?" And she just like calls it out. She's just like,
Yeah.
"You're just weird looking."
I suppose that I am, aren't I? But ugly on the outside is better than ugly on the inside, wouldn't you agree, Risa?
And
I feel like my dad's senses are tingling, and I look over. Did you just call my daughter ugly? She is a delicate, beautiful flower upon the great highland mountains of the trolldom.
Yes, the Trolldom.
when you say that, even though Zakar's raised these children to be tough, like bitter tears form in their eyes, and they're like, ugh, they get like furious. They're like, "You may be High Inquisitor, but our father's the constable. He's a noble of the court, and he will see you hanged." And then they run to the back room furiously.
I smile
That's
as
a
though
dire-
I've had a good time.
Sylvester's eyes are like going back and forth from this. Like you're henchling. He's like, "Whoa."
I feel like I look like I finally enjoyed myself in this party.
I like them. They've got spirit.
Yes.
I grab James. What's your character's name again?
Basilio.
Basilio. I always want to call it Benvolio for some reason, but Basilio.
Yeah,
I grab Basilio and I pick him up. Do you like my daughters?
As relatives of the person paying me, yes.
Oh, all right. Are you lying to me, boy? Do you not find them attractive?
No, they're beautiful, delicate mountain flowers.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better than myself. And he puts it down, and he goes up to Gerald, and I put a hand on him and say, "Let's go get this gnome. We won't want to be here when they come out of those rooms."
Gentlemen,
And
I have heard that this Vincenzo may very well be established himself within the Tricks Tavern. Local bars might be worth having a look around. I tend to clear rooms when I walk in, so I suggest that I go first.
Fine. Very well.
Thank you, Constable. Our deepest gratitude for your welcome here.
Very well. And I look to the rest of the party, goes, "All right, party's over. My daughters are crying. They're upset, and they'll kill you if you stay."
They will.
They will. You'll think I'm joking, but they will
I'm the
slaughter
dungeon
you all.
master. I've got it in my notes. It says right here the three daughters will kill the party. Okay, so with that, what would the party like to do? Are you exiting and heading towards Trick's Tavern, or were you headed towards the Tinker's shop where Vincenzo also works at? There were two options given.
I suggest a bar, gentlemen. Loose tongues with alcohol. Good way of finding out some information about this gentleman.
Good. Let's
To
go.
cavort with the common people. Excellent.
I like Basilio. I like all these characters. Meta. But as you exit the bar, the Dungeon Master awards all members of the party 20 glory points. Now, we're using a variant system that comes from the Pendragon system. Agreeing to embark on a quest earns you prestige and renown in the court and in the city. Now, the base stat for each of the players is invisible to them. They don't know what their starting glory is. However, they know that they just earned 20 points for accepting the Empress errand. So whether they succeed or fail, the fact that they agreed to perform this duty has earned them a small reward and notoriety in court. Should they fail, it may end up hurting them, but we'll see what happens.
Very cool.
So the city streets are crowded and bustling, even at this hour. Dwarven miners scowl and lurch through the streets, dragging their pickaxes with a shuffle in every step along the way. There are common elves covered in dust, some crouching and clutching at their throats in the streets, almost as if they're pained by the air itself. These may be the ones who are suffering from the same affliction that has befell the Empress. As you are making your way through the streets, I'm curious what your marching order is. Who takes the lead in this party? Is it the Inquisitor, the Constable, or the Nobleman's son?
I think the Inquisitor. I am on the blood hunt now, I believe, so I'll go first.
I'm very much hanging in the back because I am constantly walking over to market stalls and to people and just sort of generally saying the few phrases in Dwarvish and Gnomish that I know, just trying to chat up all the people who are passing by and sort of being tugged along with the rest of the party.
Yeah, you're definitely kind of, dare I say, being dragged by Silvestro, the rock-faced elf who's coming with you. He's like, "Don't lollygag. This is serious business."
No lollygagging.
What is it,
Work.
dragons?
Work. Something need doing?
Job done.
Job done.
Job done. What? Okay. Zakar is like walking maybe like a half a step behind Gerald. Big Minotaur stride, his hoofs clack against the stone streets, or whatever the streets are made out of. Gold? Mithril? We don't know. But he's kind of just like keeping a lookout for any gnome or whatever to see if he can like find any information.
Okay, so there aren't any gnomes in the streets. The gnomes in Desolate normally keep to their positions. The elves use them as messengers back and forth. They use them as servants. They use them to perform housework. Normally, you would not see a gnome out and about the street unless he was on an errand, and you have not seen any during this voyage, and that's probably because at the hour, it is dusk, the sun has set, it has set, and there's no reason to send gnomes unless they were being sent in secret. But you have not perceived any along the way. You make your way to Trick's Tavern. There's a large wooden door. It seems to be well made. The sign is clearly labeled, and there are several gaming play sets, a deck of cards, a die, etc. on the signage. This is a place where gambling is considered acceptable within the Empire. It's okay for an elf to play a game. They live for a very long time. What do you do as a party? And outside, it's illuminated inside. You can see the flicker of light, the shadows of bodies, silhouettes in the windows. What would you like to do? There is no bouncer at the door. There's no one drunk outside in front of it. It seems pretty well kept. It's a respectable establishment.
I look at the party and I'll say, I'll go in first. They know me here. Flashing the brightest smile.
Very well.
I look at the bar. I say, yes, go.
And I push open the door like I own the place. And what do I see inside?
Okay, as you open the door, you notice you're kind of at like an antechamber to get into the rest of the bar. And there is a one-eyed half-orc sitting on a stool. He's got a pouch in front of him. It's actually more like a cup. And, you know, he calls out, he's like, 5 gold to get inside. Drinks are on the house once you get in, but you've got to pay 5.
Is this entry fee usual? Would I know about this?
Yes, there is a well-known dancer named Janisha who often performs at this establishment, and she costs many coin to view your eyes.
I will step in
Ah.
towards Basilio, just like the really slow creep over the shoulder. Hello, good sir.
He kind of he turns and he looks up at you. When he sees you, you notice that his lips close, and he has an expression almost as if someone walked over his grave, and he simply says one word. He goes, Inquisitor.
I lick my lips. We would like to get inside.
He spreads his eyebrows. Sorry. That's my special move. He goes, all three of you or just you?
All three of us. Now.
I can let you all in for 5 unless you've got a warrant of some sort.
I push forward.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
You may go in.
I just walk right
We
in.
did this in the worst possible order.
And as he goes in, he goes, by his very nature, he's impossible.
Oh, I ought to travel with you guys more often. I could get into a lot of places for free.
I turn back and I say, I've never met these two in my life. No, I'm just kidding. Come. Hurry
All
before he
right.
changes his mind.
All right, so he lets you in. There is a beautiful elvish dancer who's performing. You know, she is dressed fairly modestly. And she's also singing a brilliant song, which pierces your hearts like a light in the night. She does almost stop completely when her eyes catch Basilio. Though the note is sustained, you could tell there was a slight hesitation that was only perceptible to his trained ear. Their eyes met and their hearts collided. With that said, the tavern is fairly well crowded. There's dwarves that are downing ale after the end of a long day. There's a variety of elves whispering secrets back and forth. And you do notice a small gnome serving drinks. He's male, bald-headed, waxed mustache.
I go up to this this gnome, and without any regard of what he's carrying, I grab him by the nape of his shirt or whatever, kind of like you would a cat, and lift him up, bring him really close to my face. We're looking for Vincenzo.
All right. Make a athletics check. He's going to attempt to not let you have hands on him. You probably made it, so... I was typing /donate. It's like, send Will money! So... He beat you.
Ooh,
So you get him, and he slips through your fingers like butter, and he kicks you in the shin. What's your armor class?
18.
All right, so nat 1. He slips and he falls on his butt, dropping the drinks, and seems really flustered. He goes, laying hands on me. And he kind of hisses at you.
I'm laying hands on you because you have information I want.
And he goes, you can ask with your mouth instead of your fingers.
Yes,
Spits
but
at
you... Yeah, and he like wipes the spit off.
Yes, but
You're small. I was bringing you up to meet you eye to eye. And he kind of like brings his face in and showing his one good eye. He has kind of like a whited out eye. He's blind. He's almost blind.
He gets it, and he goes, you could always kneel like you knights are known for.
I'm not a knight. I'm a Minotaur.
Well, that goes without saying. he says in a calmer voice.
This is true. Now I need to know where Vincenzo is.
Vincenzo.
Yes, he's a gnome.
The Tinker Gnome. He's at his shop. He didn't stop by for drinks tonight.
Oh. Well.
Could I trouble you for one or two?
Let us leave this cesspit of a place immediately.
Oh no, I'm not nearly ready to leave yet.
Basilio,
Excuse me?
Meanwhile, Basilio and Janisha the dancer, they're like on the second verse of "My Heart Will Go On." You know, it's just
I'm the Zeppo Marks in these Marx Brothers.
Will, can you make a perception check for me,
I
or investigation, whichever's higher?
Certainly could. Let's see here. Perception 17.
While this ruckus has been going on, you've just sort of been picking up whispers and chatters. It seems people seem to know about the Empress's ill condition, despite the fact that very few people have been told yet. And there are rumors of that the city itself, the city of Rosetta, is on the verge of riot. And that there is a resistance organizing, one that honors the old ways, not the ways of the Empress. And you're just kind of hearing chatter. You know, you can't quite make out who's saying these things, but you, as an inquisitor, you are picking up on this information.
Picking up on the tone, okay.
Yes.
We have 20 followers. That is of your decision when you wish to bring one in, Grant.
Okay.
I will note this back to Zakar, seeing as he is the constable, and say, "Good constable, it would seem as though the people of this town are at unrest. They have heard of the news. I suggest that we leave swiftly, and that upon your return to your office, you bring down the iron fist of the law to put down any insurrections that might occur here."
Yes. All right. And I look over at I want to call him Benvolio so bad.
Basilio.
Basilio. I look over at Basilio and I say, "All right, pretty boy, come on."
Yeah, Silvestro goes, "She'll only break your heart." And then he leans in and whispers in your ear and says, "And you're back." Bad boy Grant. That's sorry.
So far, the lady and I have been across the room from one another, so I make eye contact with her one last time, and do the universal hand gesture for "I'll talk to you later," and exit.
You notice as you attempted, her eyes were fixed on that of another. The moment you broke the gaze, the magic had ended.
Yeah.
Ruined.
Don't worry,
But as
Basilio.
as you're leaving, you do catch that she checks to see that you're walking out. She makes note.
That actually sets me on edge a little bit.
Just
yes,
curious.
Mixed
head on out.
messages.
I
does it
head out
mean?
The rest of that.
All right. So I assume you are making your way to the Tinker's shop and seeking out Vincenzo.
Yes.
You come to it. It's not illuminated at all. The windows are dark. It's at that hour that a gnome who has lots of work to do in the morning might have gone to bed. How do you wish to proceed?
Zakar will walk up and he'll start. Well, first he'll jiggle the door handle to see if he left it unlocked.
It is locked.
Okay, and then he proceeds to slam his big meaty fist against the door.
You're gonna attempt
Vincenzo.
to open?
Well, no, just
Oh, you're just
like,
knock?
bam, bam, bam.
Okay.
This is the police kind of deal.
A light comes on upstairs. window opens, and a thin man, not a gnome, he's an elf, sticks his head out. He's the next door down. No, I'm just messing. He's a yeah. He goes, what? You need to see my gnome. You need to see Vincenzo.
Immediately.
Well, whatever for. What do the police want? And you notice he kind of, wipes his eyes, looks, he goes, Zakar, the Hell Knight. Give us a moment. I've got to go wake him up. And then the light stays on, but you kind of see him tussle back into the house. What do you do?
Is the door slightly ajar?
Down below.
The door. Did he?
Oh, he was up at he was at a second story window. I apologize for not explaining.
I guess I wait, and I like lean up against the door frame, and start twirling my giant great axe.
Watch where you're swinging that thing.
What's wrong? Have you never been cut by an axe before?
No, I don't intend to.
Have you ever
cut by one?
Have you ever swung an axe before?
No.
Oh, it's great fun here. And he like shoves it into. Come on, lift it like a Minotaur.
Oh, God, this thing weighs a ton.
Gentlemen, this is truly fascinating, but don't we have a task to be on here?
Yes,
I'm
we're waiting.
I'm awarding every player a point of inspiration at this point for the excellent role playing. I don't think anyone's breaking character except me. Who's playing the daughters? Oh yeah, that's my job. I was just so used to. But all right. So you notice the gentleman who poked his head out the window hasn't seemed to come down.
I look, and I rub my chin. Do you think that that was Vincenzo and he just slipped out the back?
Constable, how many criminals have you attempted to arrest that walked right out when the police knocked on their door? I suggest we go inside.
Plenty. I've had plenty of criminals just take one look at me and says, "We surrender."
That much I can understand, but this gentleman here may very well be the killer of the Empress.
Right.
Let us not tarry in our task, and I enter inside.
All right.
The door is locked. So
Did he lock it, or did he just close it, I guess?
he wasn't at the door. He was at the upper window.
Oh,
Like,
you're right. Yeah, he
got
called
them.
down, didn't he? Yeah.
So
Okay.
Zakar will like nod to Gerald and go horns first into this door.
Okay,
Hi.
just as you're about to go heads first into it, the door does open and the man's there. He's gonna see if he can jump out the way. We're gonna assume that it's like a DC 15. He's an older man. He's not very spry. Oh my goodness. Hey, he dodged it.
He lives.
He barely whips. Clutches his chest. He's like, ah! And yeah, he's like clutching. He's like, he's difficult to wake, but he's coming down. He just wants to be dressed.
Right. Do you know where the back door is?
Yeah, it's right out back.
Ah.
Well,
It is. It's he points to it. He goes, but it only goes into a small yard.
And I put a hand on Basilio and I said, "Do you want a special job?"
how special are we talking about?
You're going to stand by that back door, and if this little gnome tries to run out the back, you hit him with something. And he pats his person, and he pulls out like a dagger that he had in his, like, the Minotaur equivalent to an ankle strap. next to his hoof, and he hands it to Basilio. Here. If he tries to run, hit him with this.
Oh, please, that's not a weapon. And I pull a rapier from my hip and I give it a twirl and I say, this.
You draw the sword in the house in front of the old man?
No, I'm out of the house.
Okay, you're out of the house.
I'm just outside.
Okay, it's the Minotaur who's in the house. Okay, you're outside.
And I give the blade a flourish and I say, this will stop any fleeing ne'er-do-wells.
Seems really flimsy. All right, well, just take your position at the back door.
That sounds just fine to me. I'll go over to the back door.
And I look to Gerald, and I say, "Well, I guess we wait for him down here."
So Vestro says, "My lord, where would you like me positioned in this house?"
By the front door.
Got it. And he pulls out, a cudgel, little club, and he goes, "It may not be very large, but it does quite an awful lot of pounding."
I place a hand on him. There's an old Minotaur saying.
Don't say it.
It's not the size of the horns, but it's how you use them.
I was trying not to say it.
No. Oh my goodness. We're sorry, internet. But all right. With that said, the elderly man's on the floor. No gnome has appeared at the top of the stairs. What do you do?
I will go upstairs. I think you have everything sorted down here.
Right.
As you begin to go upstairs, the gnome he appears at the top of the stairs as you begin to go up, and he starts descending. And he goes, "What's all this about?"
Vincenzo,
The one and only.
come down here and have a conversation with the constable.
And he goes, "All right. Don't mind if I do." And he pulls a broom that's sitting at the top of the stairs, jumps on it, and begins flying down the stairs. Let's roll initiative, and let's have one roll for Zakar, Basilio, and Gerald. Go ahead and roll me 1d6, and we'll see if you beat the other people in the house.
By the way, the viewer decision...
Just one person has to do.
Sorry.
This is an initiative variant. So James rolled first, so he got a 3, and they got a 10. So Lowe's go first, so you can decide as a team what you want to do.
Nice. By the way, the viewer decision was Moldark, who traditionally takes the form of a white wolf for companion. I'd say we go first. We stop this guy from fucking running our house. Once he's on the streets on that broom, we're screwed.
Do I see him?
Yeah, you most definitely see him, but he's a good 20, 25 feet away. He's at a higher elevation than you. There's narrow stairs.
I look at him and I cast command.
Okay.
Let's see. He has to make a wisdom saving throw against my spell DC of 13. And I'm going to use the effect Halt.
Well, he counterspells it, and it does not take effect. So that's his reaction. What about the rest of you?
Well played.
I'm going to try and command him also. I'm going to turn towards my Minotaur friend, and I'm saying, listen, you're going about it all wrong. You're too stern. You have to grease the wheels before you get them to do what you want. I'm going to say, now please, my good man, stop in your tracks where you are.
All right, let's, what's his DC to beat?
The DC to beat is, let's see.
He got a 10. He probably didn't beat it.
Nope. It is 11.
So what's your command?
My command is to halt.
All right, he stops, and he halts at the top of the stairs.
Sorry, it's not 11. It is 13, but it doesn't matter.
I figured it was probably a little higher, yeah. All right.
And I say, look, there we go. He's in the palm of our hands.
And with that, Will, what was your action?
I mean,
what would you like to do?
I mean, if I
Throw a rock at him!
probably would have held person on him, or cast hold person on him.
Okay, cast hold person.
Which is a not beholder, hold person. So wisdom saving throw, the DC of which should be a.
You got a 22, nat 20.
Oh fuck. Okay, well then my whole person didn't work.
All right. With that.
I wanted to specify something. I don't have command, but I do have suggestion. I cast suggestion instead of command.
Okay, so we're gonna assume that you suggested him to halt, and he says that seems like a really good idea. I'm halting up here for a second. So he's on his floating broom. With that, he gives out a little whistle, and a white wolf comes through a little doggy door on the bottom, because they had those in Desolate, and dashes into Zakar with an attack. It gets a 22 to hit.
Oh fuck.
It hits.
All right, it does 5 points of damage. Make a strength saving throw.
Okay, so I go down to 23. And then strength saving throw. 16.
Yep, you make your save. You're not knocked over by the wolf. And with that, you notice Vincenzo begins floating backwards up the stairs very slowly. He's not taking a move, but he just kind of 5 foot shifts a little bit up the stairs. And he seems to look around the room, and then that's all he's doing for now. And his manservant attempts to wrestle Gerald to the ground, and
Let him try.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a dork fight. Run, master! It's a 21.
Holy fuck.
Yes. So he just kind of grabs you. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Fuck.
Or dexterity. Acrobatics.
Nah, it's the same either way, actually. So, yes. Nope.
He just tussles you to the ground and begins rolling with you.
His fervor.
Sorry, theme music.
I'm like, whilst I'm being wrestled, I appreciate the fervor with which you act.
Fervently.
As I'm being wrestled to the ground and I'm roly-polying down the stairs.
All right. How far away is this wolf from me?
The wolf is you are what I would consider engaged with it. So any action that is touch range, or if you wanted to touch it, it's engaged with you. So you are face to face.
Oh, I'm going to attack it with my great axe.
Make an attack roll, please.
19.
You totally hit. Roll some damage.
11. Now,
Here it comes.
because I'm a Minotaur, I can then, whenever I use an attack action during my turn to make a melee attack, I can attempt to shove a creature with my horns as a bonus action.
Okay.
You cannot use this shove to attempt to knock the creature prone. I'm just going to try to knock him. I feel like we're fighting on the stairs right now. Kind of deal?
No,
Where
not
are we?
quite. You are in the main room near the stairs, but you're not quite on the stairs. It was the gent who began going up the stairs was Gerald, and he's been wrestled to the ground. Comically.
What? How far away is the nearest window? Because I'm going to try to shove this wolf out the nearest window.
As strong as you are, I reckon you could probably get him out a window.
Okay. So this is my first time shoving. I've never shoved before in D&D. So do I make an
Make an athletics check.
You
Okay,
you never forget your first time.
and he's going to do an
shoving
opposed
someone
one.
out a window to their death.
Yeah, you don't quite get the best of him.
Okay. Now I get a second attack because I have my great weapon fighting.
All right. So great weapon fighting gives you a second attack.
As a paladin, or is that just avenging? Hold on, I have to.
I think great weapon fighting's when you.
That's nice.
It's either the
Reroll
damage
one
modification. Yeah, you can reroll the damage.
Oh no, that's right. I was thinking I was still an avenging paladin. Never mind.
Ha ha!
Avenging paladins get 2 attacks. with a
Olé!
Great weapon. Never mind. Pass turn.
All right. It is Basilio's turn.
Okay, could you describe the scene for me right now?
All right. So you are near the front door to a house, and that is where you are at. About towards the middle of the room, to the right of you, the large Minotaur is attempting to wrestle a white wolf out the back of the room. In front of the stairs, an elderly elf is wrestling with an Aasimar cleric. They're rolling about on the floor. And at the top of the stairs that goes up about, I would say, 12 feet, is a little gnome sitting on a flying broom whose eyes are darting about.
I'm going to attempt to run up those stairs and grab the broom from him. Or somehow dismount him.
Got it. So you can run up there and you can attempt to either attack him to knock him off, or push him off, or pull him off, or rip the broom from him. How would you like to do it?
I'm going to try and pull the broom out from under him.
All right, go ahead and make a athletics check.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
This is the night of athletics rolls.
12.
And he's going to try to stay mounted. He does not. You rip him right off that broom, and he falls and takes a point of damage, lands on his butt stupidly.
Get him.
In that movement, can I try and seat myself on the broom as I pulled it away from him?
I'm going to rule that it would be a use object or use an item action in order to get yourself on the broom. And your action was shoving him, so not quite at this time, but
okay.
You most definitely can next turn.
Sure, I'll just hold it in my offhand then.
All right. With that, Will, you are in the life or death battle with Sleazy McSleazy 10.
I'm sure that I am, but old man. And I'm gonna I'm gonna shadow a Mordor, grab his face while we're on the ground, and just begin to leech energy out from his eyes. And I'm gonna cast Inflict Wounds upon him.
All right.
At first level. So I make a spell attack against him.
His armor class is 10.
Let's give this a go. Oh my! Okay, both my spells.
Sorry.
So
and I apologize
shitty.
for everyone for that.
Fuck. Guys, I need these nat 20s right now. It's so great if I was just lying around. Fuck. I'm meant to be this James Bond style villain. They can't even kill the old man. Yes, I was expecting that. The old man, I kind of call out, the old man has magical defenses up.
I like how it's just like a common man.
Yes.
You know, I was trained in the art of Elvish collegiate wrestling. He was like a third string All-American. Desolate State.
Damn it.
Meanwhile, all right, so our friend Moldark the Wolf is going to make another bite attack at Zakar. He crit fails, and his teeth fall out.
Hey. Fuck my dog.
The old man is attempting to get a strangle.
It's gonna fucking kill me. First encounter dead by old man. The High
Oh,
Inquisitor.
he got a 1, not a nat 1. He can't.
A dirty one.
Right.
A dirty one.
But he does bite your ear as he does it, and just like dirty wrestling.
Insolent cur. I'll be right back.
Yes.
Just grabbing a coffee, chat bullying me.
No worries. And then the recently desaddled Vincenzo does a misty step down the stairs, about to the place where Basilio used to be, in front of the door, and attempts to run out when Silvestro attempts to pop him in the head with the cudgel as he tries to make it out, but he can't quite hit him. And Vincenzo is running out the front door.
I look over at Vincenzo, and with this the wolf that just misses, and I say, "You slimy cur, you will stand and you will face me. I am Zakar. I am the Hell Knight, and you will fight me, you coward." Damn, so it's such a roll.
Now he made it out the front door with his move. So he used his Misty Step, I believe, as a bonus action, then used his full move to run 30 feet out the door. So is he within range? He's probably about 40 feet away from you.
40 feet.
Yeah, and he's also not a target you can see anymore.
Oh.
Because he's out that front door, and you are in the house.
I'm going to command it. Oh, let me see. Let me double check. Command doesn't say I have to see him, right?
We can double check.
You can see within range. Okay. I'm going to dash out that door after him.
Yeah, you catch up with his little gnome legs. He's not that fast, and he's like, "Oh no!" You know, as Zakar the Hell Knight comes running down the streets of Desolate in the midnight hours. You, city folk who are crowded on the streets, look up at you and are, terrified at this sight as the Queen's chosen Knight of Hell itself is chasing after this small fleeing gnome. And with that, we are back to Basilio's turn.
Got away.
Okay. I'm going to hop on the broom, and I'm going to try and fly it, just sort of rocket out of the house towards...
Nice. Through the top window or down the stairs and out the front door?
Oh, definitely through the top window. If there's a window, I'm going through it.
That's what I like to see. Peter Pan right out of it. Just and you're moving and you're catching up on Vincenzo, who looks back over his shoulder. You are catching up on him. How close do you want to get to him?
As close as I possibly can with this broom's movement, and I'm just going to shout down at him, "You should probably listen to him. He's really not nice when you make him angry."
With that, you notice on the broom a small squirrel-like creature darts around your waist and crawls up your chest and then starts clawing at your eyes.
Ah, my eyes!
Yes, let's see if he hits you. What's your armor class?
Attacked by squirrel.
This is the most embarrassing combat I've ever been in. My armor class is 15.
He hits you.
Ah!
This little magic creature. So it's 3 points of claw to the eyes damage from the cub squirrel familiar of Vincenzo.
Oh boy.
I think that hurts the pride more than the face, right?
Can I do anything to this thing, or have I used up most of my?
Oh, you can attack it if you want. You've done a move.
Yeah,
you can do an action.
I would like to take this off my face, dangle it by its tail, and just throw it.
All right. You throw it, and it goes into flying squirrel mode. You're faster than it, but it's winged, and it's going down towards the car at this point. I hope it takes the guy out. No, I'm just messing. All right, Will, you're still wrestling with the old man.
Of course I am. Where else would I be? Well, I screwed up my whole person. I screwed up my inflict wounds. Can't use any of those. Don't use any of those. Can I get a dagger and just stab him in the eye?
Absolutely.
Good. I'd like to do that. So, 2, 4, 13 versus his armor class.
Yeah, you stab him right in the eye.
6 damage.
You kill the old man.
Yes.
Dagger into the eye. The High Inquisitor
Yep.
stabs. You stab poor Alejandro in the face.
Not
And
Alejandro.
His eyes pierced, and his final words were, "I bend you," and then he dies on top of you. Bloody old man.
Die,
Gives
scum.
up the ghost. Yeah.
I wipe off the blood on the eyeball at the end of my dagger.
All right.
I'll run out of the house as well at this point.
Okay. As you get up, have to move.
I'm coming.
Yeah, out the front door. And so you are making your ways out, and you're running down the street. Vincenzo, at this point, it will be his move. One of his companions dead. His wolf is going to attempt to pounce the High Inquisitor Gerald from behind. What's Gerald's armor class? He got a 23 to hit you.
Fuck, man. Yeah, my AC's 15.
All right, you take 5 points of damage to make a strength saving throw for me.
Holy macro, okay. Strength saving throws +2. 15.
You made it. He doesn't knock you down, but he definitely hit you for 5 points of slashing damage. Now the old man is dead. Let's see what Vincenzo has up his sleeve for you guys this time. Vincenzo, what do you do? Okay, so Vincenzo turns around and looks behind him, and he turns his head to an alley. Misty steps down that alley and continues to dash away through the streets. And also you start to hear some rattling saying, "What are they doing picking on that gnome? What are they doing chasing after that little guy?"
Innocent men don't run.
How far away is he? Because I was right on his heels with my dash. So how far is he now since he misty stepped?
He's about 30, 40 feet from you.
I'm going to attempt to cast command again using the drop feature.
Sure.
I will yell, "Get on the ground now before I slice you in twain."
All right, and he has to make a wisdom saving throw?
Yep. To beat a 13.
Okay. And it's at what spell slot?
1.
He does not make it. He gets to the ground.
He drops prone and he ends his turn.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right. It is back to the top of initiative. It was Zakar's turn, and that was Zakar's turn, correct?
Yep, that was Zakar's turn.
Okay.
Okay, and so now it's Basilio.
Okay, I'm going to keep just rocketing through the air towards him. Can I get to him physically with this movement?
Yes, you could, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to get right down there. I'm going to hop off the broom, still holding it in my hand, and lean down to this grounded gnome and say, "Listen, the rest of these people are out for your blood. They think that you killed the Empress. They think that you're trying to cause riots in the street. I might be a friend. Did you do these things?"
He goes, "I do what I'm told."
"Who tells you?"
He goes,
"Listen, I'm not with them. They forced me into this." And I keep just sort of looking over my shoulder, trying to see if the Minotaur is rushing up behind me.
The Minotaur is catching up. He's getting right up on you. And Vincenzo speaks up. He goes, you notice he looks at you. You see him. then you don't, and you're not too sure what happened. Zakar, you're walking right up to where he laid prone. You don't see him there anymore.
And as soon as I see Zakar get within like 20 or 30 feet of me, I look at him and look at where the gnome was, and I take out the rapier and I just shout, and I hit the empty ground where it should be, where he was. And I look up and I said, he got away.
I look at Basilio, and I grab him and I pull him really close. He's still holding onto the broom, so it's kind of like
broom in one hand.
Make a perception check, Zakar.
Okay. He is not very perceptive. Is he? Nope. 6.
Apparently not. Yeah, you don't see any sign of Vincenzo here. Will, you're coming up on the scene. You make a perception check.
Yeah, I'll be running out of the house, having murdered the old dude.
Yeah, you've been...
It's a 9.
Yeah, you find your companions, but you don't see any signs of Vincenzo.
Where?
He seems to have slipped right through their fingers.
Where is he? Did you let him go?
I had him on the ground, and I bring Basilio. He was the one who was supposed to apprehend him. Where did he go?
I was trying to interrogate him. He just disappeared. He must have cast invisibility.
You notice 4 Vincenzos running down the alley now. They're all kind of on top of each other. Just a bunch of Vincenzos. And they are running towards the city gates.
Quick. And the chase is on again.
Damn it, now there's more of them. We can barely catch one.
You notice people in the streets are starting to crowd almost as if to block you. And they're like, leave him be. Leave him be.
Zakar lets out a loud, bullish roar. And he looks at the crowd of people. Move out of my way.
They are backing up. It looks like as if they have seen their death, and the fires of hell have burned their very souls, and judgment has been passed. So they depart, and you can see the small army of Vincenzos running as fast as they can. Can't catch them. They're the gingerbread man.
How far away are they?
They are about 40 feet away from you.
40 feet, so Dash won't get there.
Well, if they were the Muffin Man, we just had to go down Drury Lane and we'd have been able to find them. But...
Of course. I always thought about that. He's gonna... So where are we? Are there like shops that would have barrels and whatnot? Barrels and boxes?
There's a number of those. Now, Zakar, while you're thinking, what's your armor class? I don't think it hits you.
18.
The White Wolf does try to get between you and Vincenzo, misses, and then just keeps running off into the night.
Okay, so he jumps, tries to bite me, misses.
Yeah, he just kind of snaps, snarls, and realizes there's too many of you, and it's not a smart fight.
I look and I said, smart animal. And I go and I grab a barrel and I go bowling for gnomes and I start rolling a barrel down towards one of the Vincenzos.
Go ahead and make an attack roll for me. You can use your strength modifier, and I will assume proficiency because, heck, you're a barrel chucker.
This is true.
I don't think you hit him.
It's his background.
No, I don't.
His background. Old Zakar, the barrel chucking Minotaur from the Trolldom.
He learned it from Donkey Kong.
So bad.
I mean, at this point, these guys are like, would you say, out of our kind of range now that they're running towards the city gates crowd?
Gnomes, you can run faster than this gnome. He just seems to be slippery and sly.
Okay, then I do have a hold person, but there's 4 of them, so I'm just going to start chasing after them, dashing towards them.
All right,
Quarterstaff in hand.
Yeah, you're catching up to the Vincenzo's. You are coming up alongside him. He looks up and sees you. You know, his steely gray, gnomish eyes have a lot of concern in them when he sees you. And, you know, he does kind of mutter something like, "You could have at least brought my broom back." And Basilio, what would you like to do?
Have we identified which gnome is the real gnome? Which
I'm guessing
is
at
the
this
real
point.
Slim Vincenzo?
It's hard for you to tell.
Just got to ask him to stand up.
If he's using the mirror illusion spell, this is out of character.
Mirror image.
Mirror image. He can quote unquote replace himself with one of his mirror images. So we just have to start taking them out until we find.
Yeah, I figured that was my in-character idea, was just to start killing them until I find the right one.
Zakar's like so pissed he's throwing barrels at him.
How close together are the mirror images?
They're pretty tightly packed.
Okay, great. I'm going to fly up to one of them and see if I can catch them all in a thunder wave.
All right, so Thunder Wave will hit everything in that cube and at least hit, if they make the save, they take half damage, correct?
That's correct.
Mirror images don't have many hits, so let's see, what type of save does he have to make?
I believe it's a Constitution save. That's correct.
All right, so...
And on a failure, he's also pushed 10 feet.
I believe he made it, but he'll still take half damage, and it will blow away all of his mirror image. So yeah, you do manage to blast to pieces the mirror Vincenzo's. And he looks up at you and goes, "Clever girl. I mean,
Cool.
mad."
It is a mere 3 damage on a successful save.
All right, that Vincenzo's still looking pretty hardy and healthy.
But we've neutralized those mirror images.
Right.
Yes,
That's an important thing. So if I mean, can I take an action here, Grant, or do you need...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Take one.
I will try and have a hold person on the guy. Wisdom saving throw. Now that I know he's the right one. Yeah, dead on the money. He's looking for 14.
All right. So what he does in this situation now is he attempts to wrestle his broom back during the thunder wave shock. Go ahead and make an athletics check, Basilio.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
No, he's like, "Just give me back my broom." And then, he doesn't have it, and then he misty steps further down and away.
Bastard.
Yeah.
Bastard, I say though.
You also notice at this point, as he gets that down that way, 4 men seem to emerge, 2 on either side of the alleys. They're dressed in black, and 2 of them are elves. The other 2 look like they are fell men. They look like they are men of the wastelands, who every now and then come into the city to trade, but they have their eyes fixed on you and your party.
Hey, Zakar, what the hell did you get me into?
I look at him. I got you into justice and the law.
Boy, I'd really rather be playing music.
I'd rather be at home celebrating my youngest 70th birthday. But I have to chase after a gnome. How far away is this gnome from me?
He's a good 45 feet.
A good 45 feet.
Yes.
I'm going to expend my last spell slot and command him to approach me. Vincenzo, this has gone on long enough. I am not going to kill you. Get your small gnomish ass right in front of me so we can clear your name, or I will smash you in two.
He shakes his head. No. And then flips you double birds and starts backing up. While the men who had come between you are coming forward. You all have the top of the initiative. What would you like to do, Basilio and Will? There are 4 men garbed in black with foul expressions who seem intent on doing you harm.
I am also clad in black and with a foul expression
Yes.
at current as well.
Rival gangs.
Yeah.
Are we gonna snap? Are we gonna snap and sync?
That's it. We just start going.
When you're an elf.
Oh, dude. As much as I would love for this whole thing to become
West
Side Story.
West Desolate Story.
And they are seemingly protecting Vincenzo, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Basilio, you recognize each of these men as you get a closer look at them. You definitely recognize them. They've seen you perform a couple times. You do know they've never paid a cover charge when they've come into the establishments that you have performed at. And they normally don't stay to watch the show. They slip to the back of the room.
I'll look towards Basilio for a moment, and I look towards his gentleman and say, "Do you know who you're dealing with? I am the Inquisitor of the High Empress. I demand that you part away so that I may arrest this criminal."
They sneer and smile slightly, and then they say, "Kneel before us, your majesty." And they take a shot at your kneecaps with a crossbow. What's your armor class?
AC 15.
All right, they don't hit you. They miss. Then they see Zakar.
I knew all this wonderful power that I had at the beginning of the campaign had to go away, but I didn't know it had to go away right away.
Yeah, they see Zakar. They look a little nervous too. They also look at the Inquisitor, and they see Basilio. Their eyes kind of look at each other. Then they ready arms and move to engage you. You all get an attack on them first.
All right, Zakar's he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I just want the gnome," and he takes the axe and he looks at the guy who shot at Gerald, and he goes to swing at him with the great axe. 20 against his armor class.
You definitely hit him. Roll damage.
10.
Knocked out. He's dead. Cleaved in twain.
When I finish with him, I turn and I go to headbutt the guy next to him to knock him against. Are we in an alley? I feel like we're in a tight space.
You're not in that tight a space. You're in a wider street. They came out of alleys to the main road.
Okay, I'm gonna try to.
And there are onlookers.
Oh well, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna headbutt him towards a wall.
Got it.
Maybe a shop wall, stall, cabbage basket, whatever. But I'm going to attempt to shove him.
Go ahead and make a athletics. Yeah, you shove him. He is shoved. Whoa! And he kind of falls over a lower fence and lands in a pig trough, because those desert pigs need some place to eat. It's the city. There wouldn't be a pig trough. It's just a pile of debris and refuse. So yeah, you knock one of them out and cleaved one down. All right, Basilio and Gerald, what would you like to do?
I will. I've got a light crossbow. I'm gonna crossbow this guy back for trying to take out my kneecap.
No, you kneel.
Yeah, I'm afraid not. And even though I'm kind of crappy with it, I would like to shoot him with a crossbow. 15.
You hit. Roll damage.
For 1d8 plus 2, I think. Let's see on my math. Yes.
Sure, why not?
Why not? That's correct math. 6 damage again.
All right, 6 damage is not quite enough to take him out, but he is bloodied and bleeding and hanging on by a thread.
Yes, I kneel before none but the Empress.
Yeah, he's down. Basilio?
I am going to do 2 things. First of all, I'm going to look at... There's 4 guys in front of us, right?
Technically, there's kind of like 1 remaining. One's on the ground, bleeding heavily. One's been slain and cut in half. A third was tossed over a stall. And there's 1, and he looks like the meanest one of them all.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, in that case, plan changes a little bit. I'm going to double down on that West Side Story reference and sing a little song for my big friend, Zakar, and to grant him Bartok Inspiration. A D6 to you, my friend.
The most beautiful name in the world that I ever heard. Zakar.
So, I know...
just met a Minotaur.
We need it. Yeah.
I know that different bard colleges give different things like effects for their Bardic Inspiration. What does this Bardic College Inspiration do?
I'm just giving you a normal Bardic Inspiration that
Okay.
next 10 minutes, 1 ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Okay, cool.
I have another thing, but it's to be used against enemies, not with allies.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm going to walk up to this guy who is bloody and bleeding on the floor, and I'm going to make an attack roll against him with my rapier.
All right, it hits. He can't go anywhere, so even...
And I'm just going to knock him out. I don't want to kill this guy.
Yeah, he's been dispatched. He had 1 hit point remaining. I'm not going to have you roll and miss him 100 times.
Thanks.
So, you've dispatched that foe, and he is collapsed. The remaining ruffian makes several attacks on Zakar. What's Zakar's armor class? It's an 18, right?
Yeah, hits on an 18, so you hit once.
Yeah, so... for 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
With his short sword. So he came in, 3 attacks, Zakar parried, then got hit steady, and you feel it's a strong arm behind this guy. He seems intent on delaying you, even if it means his life.
So is it my go?
It's definitely your go. Horns! No. You toss them up with the horns, then cut them in half with the axe. Sorry.
They do give me advantages on all checks made to shove a creature.
Yes.
Also, Arvor donates £3. Give advantage to everybody. Go get that garden decoration. Thank you, Arvor. Baby.
Sweet. I'm gonna grapple this guy.
All right, make an athletics check.
I'm gonna try to grapple him in the sense that I'm grabbing him by the neck. Let's see. That is 25.
It's a nat 20. You've got him by however you want. You know, single collar tie. You pull his head down. And he's like, "All right, uncle." Sorry. No.
And I say, "Who do you work for, and what do you want? I have a gnome to catch, and you hurt me rather badly."
He begins to speak, and he says, "The dwarves." And then his eyes turn an inky black, and his nose starts to bleed, and his skin splits down the center of his forehead, separates, leaving nothing but an eerie, bloody skull as he falls backwards dead.
My God!
I look down, and then I look at the rest. I didn't do that.
I smile a wicked smile. Fascinating.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, that's not the worst thing. Have you ever seen a troll split right down the middle to where he regenerates and there's 2 trolls? That's disgusting.
Have you ever seen the flailed genitals of a desert gnome? So,
This day's getting worse
There's-
and worse.
This is the worst birthday party
Ever.
ever.
Is there that one guy I shot in the knee? Is he still...
He's
Alive?
unconscious.
Okay.
He's still alive
Well,
though.
I'll expend however many hit points needed from my channel divin to bring him back to consciousness so that we might
All right, just
interrogate
one.
him, yeah.
He opens his eyes.
He sees me looking down at him, my hawkish nose.
Yeah, he goes. Yeah, he looks up at you. He goes, Inquisitor.
Greetings. Now, we need to have a little conversation, you and I.
All right.
And I cast Zone of Truth with my last slot.
Oh my goodness, and you notice, yeah, he starts to sweat. He goes, I never do well when they do that one.
Never works out
Holds
well.
his hands up.
Now tell me, what is that creature there? And I point towards the skinless thingy.
He's a dead human.
How did he die?
Yeah. Not too sure. I assume that the bosses have a method of doing them in.
These bosses, who are they?
There's a number of them.
Tell me.
The one
all
we
of them.
deal with is a dwarf.
A dwarf. What is his name?
His name is Halbrick.
Hobrek.
Halbrick.
Excellent. Where might we find this Hobrek?
He's at the old Garlstone mines.
Guys.
Sorry, the what stone mines? I didn't quite catch that.
Garlston.
Guilestone Mines.
Garlston.
Yes. Guilestone.
You have to when you say it.
God.
The guy.
Stone.
Garlston.
Correct. Right. Well. And how much were you paid to protect Vincenzo?
Oh, that's not really relevant, is it?
Yes.
Well, we don't do it for the money. We do it to restore the nation back to its former glory, so that slime like you don't run the masses.
I stand over this guy. Slime like me.
I hold up a little hat, like just a little warning hand, because we still need some more information. In good time, Constable. All in good time.
You notice an arrow pierce through the side of his skull, and he falls forward.
I hate it when
What
they
do
do
you
that.
I followed the path of the arrow. Who shot that?
Yeah.
As you look up, you see a shadowy figure on the top of a roof, retreating after the shot is fired.
Yeah.
I hop on my flying broom. I'm after that son of a bitch.
Oh, also, Grant, Kiana's giving a wild magic search to whoever you would like.
It's gotta be my friend James.
Yeah,
Basilio gets it.
A D10,000.
That's the D1000,
D-
right?
D10,000, actually, yeah.
There's
And
an extra zero.
It's like the D1000, but with 9,000 more features.
I have 1406.
Oh,
It was a
oh my
fine
god,
year.
this is terrible. You must make a wisdom saving throw, or you may begin aging 20 years per round. I don't know what a DC is. Grant, that's up to you, and how long it lasts for. It's up to you as well.
All right, make it. We're gonna assume it's a DC. Well, let's see what the DC is going to be. Let's
see.
roll a D20. DC of a 12.
Okay, you can make this.
I'm gonna spend my inspiration on that.
Do it, do it.
Inspiration, I'm gonna spend it.
Thank you, Elvor. Come on. Yes!
Yay! He stays young.
I saw my youth flash before my eyes.
Oh my god.
My sweet, sweet half-elven features.
Man, that bard in the tavern would never gone for you unless you saved that.
You notice that the creature who is cloaked appears to be it's beginning to run faster and faster, almost to the point where you would assume 120 feet per round. It's jumping.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
It's a tabaxi.
Not quite.
A monk. I can't keep pace with this guy. Hold on. How close is he to me?
You are about 80 feet away. You could probably catch and get close to him if you do a full dash.
80 feet away at the start of my turn?
Mm-hmm. What
Okay.
are you thinking?
Oh, no, my spell range is just not nearly long enough. Yes, I'm going to...
That's
wait,
what
wait,
she
wait,
said.
Wait, how
Sorry.
fast does the broom go?
We're going to say it goes 40 feet in a dash. 40 feet flying in a dash. You can move at 80.
Okay. I'll do that for now. I will dash and get there right up next to him.
All right. You're catching up with that individual. Who... I'm
Well,
going to send you a
yeah.
message because you are the one there.
Okay.
yeah, Zakar and I don't think we have any chance of catching up. So we'll search the bodies, I guess, of the gentlemen we slain.
All right, you find 7 gold pieces. There is a
Huzzah.
black dagger carved in the shape of a serpent. It's made out of obsidian. It's more of a decorative piece.
Oh, I'll take
there are
that.
3 blue stones that you might try to identify. They look like precious jewels. There is a jade bracelet. That's what that piece of jewelry is called as well. They're wearing simple clothes. They're not armed or armored beyond anything other than short swords. And that's what you find. And you're pretty sure Vincenzo did make it out of the city gates by this point.
Yeah.
Now, from your position, Basilio, you can see him down, fleeing into the desert. You do have eyes on him.
I'm going to... And he's again 80 feet away from me.
Vincenzo or
Vincenzo.
the one you're up to. Yes. Okay. So let me.
Vincenzo,
Yeah,
Vincenzo is less important to me. I'm going after the assassin. Sorry, party.
all right. Yes. You have caught up with the assassin. What would you like to do?
I am going to say, wait. First of all, if I've heard of this fellow, what is his name?
Sebastian.
Sebastian. I'm going to say, wait, Sebastian. I'd know that face anywhere. I'd know that running stride. It's me. It's your friend. It's Basilio.
And he goes, "Where did you get that broom?"
That's not important. What's important is, what are you doing here? I got press ganged into helping this Minotaur and this horrible man.
If anyone sees you with me, your life is in danger.
And I take out my rapier. No, see, I'm threatening you. You're going to get away from me in a moment. You guys killed the Empress.
Killed the Empress? He seems
well,
absolutely
that's-
shocked, baffled, and confused.
Well, that's what you did, right? The Empress is terribly sick. We've been chasing a gnome that apparently poisoned her.
We were told but to protect the gnome and make sure no one talks to the authorities.
Oh my god. I think we're in a bit of a pickle now. Listen, I need to get back to the police sergeant and the horrible man. Tell me where I can find you later.
3 days' time, the Green Goblin. Don't say any names. Simply order a drink. Order a Decilian whiskey.
Decilian whiskey, you got it. Green Goblin, 3 days. Good. I need to go back to pretending to help these fools. Until next time. And I
As he turns around, the car's right behind him.
and I peel around and I shoot off back towards my friends.
All right, so Basilio returns to the party. The assassin has seemed to have faded.
Did you find anything, Basilio?
Yes, he hit me with a blindness spell for a few minutes, and I lost him. He's too
Make a
fast.
deception.
Well, wait. This is maybe in my zone of truth still?
Oh.
How long does zone?
Yeah, real good question, actually. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to take.
I assume a minute or two.
I would
It's
think a
enough time.
minute. Duration 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, well,
Ooh.
you know, I've done
I
this
get
with
to make
this
a
person.
wisdom saving throw.
You
against
do,
that.
yeah.
Ooh.
That's a fail.
It was my friend Sebastian.
So, like, maybe
I say, I encountered, I caught up with the man. He's a musician I've met in the past. I performed with him the other day.
What's his name?
His name is Sebastian.
Where can we find him?
I don't know where he went.
No, that is true. He doesn't know where he went. He
Oh yeah,
Zone
yeah.
Truth allows him.
Does he know? Does he know where he can find him? Though?
I guess
What
I don't know where I can
information
find
does
him.
he? Let's roll for it. So you don't know where you can find him right now, but you
Got it.
know.
I could
So
insight
here's what we're
deception.
gonna do. I'm gonna
Deal.
say on a 15 or higher, you spill the beans. So I'm gonna roll a d20.
Okay.
Rolling the dice. 3. You do
No
not
beans.
spill the beans.
Yep.
To the best
I
of
do
your
know-
knowledge, yeah, on it. And this kind of fits with your character too. Like you do know where you could find him, but you're an artist. You're not even thinking like that.
I'm on a whole different level. Gerald will nod.
Here's really it. I think he's working with the rest of these guys. I mean, he's an assassin, right? I think we need to get to this. There's a Garl mine that the other guy told us about.
Yes.
The Garlstone mines.
The Garl stone mines to find Hobrick, this dwarf and gentleman who appears to be behind all of this. But it's worth noting, Zakar, that with the fall of the Empress, as word spreads, our clout will be lessened. Perhaps it would be better to stop introducing ourselves by our titles for some time and merely travel under our own names.
Also, do you have any idea how to cure incessant and unintelligible whispers in your head? They've been bothering me all night.
That isn't normal.
I can.
Oh,
help
have you
that.
been doing this?
Ever since I can remember, yes, I thought that was normal.
Oh dear. Well,
Seems as though
maybe I'll
they've
learn
spread.
from it.
Zakar kind of like looks at Basilio. He's like, I don't trust you. I don't like you. Both
But I
times.
played so beautifully at your party.
Oh, yeah, your music is terrible. I'd rather listen to the pounding war drums of Baltheus the Mad.
This is the worst zone of truth I've ever been in.
And but you notice that Zakar is not in the zone of truth, just on the edge. He's like, I don't trust you. You've been with both of my suspects, and both of them have gotten away. You claim to know this man, but you don't know where he is.
Yes.
Silvestro speaks up too. He goes, "We could take the horses and run down that gnome."
It's not a bad idea. Also,
fine.
I get a wild magic surge from Arvor. Those tricky zones of truth, you never know what they might reveal. Oh dear. 3, 8, 5, 6 is what I rolled. I can't imagine this is going to be a good thing. Okay, Mordog, thank you. Oh, 3, 8, 5, 6. I am blessed. When a caster Ooh, when caster next enters his home, the magistrate condemns it.
Oh.
Oh dear. Well, the city is my home.
It's condemned.
All right.
And it's
The
condemned.
magistrate. No.
Yes, I am the magistrate. I condemn it to death. Yes, I like the suggestion of... Was it Silvestro?
Silvestro, yeah, he's kind of a Silvestro rock face. You know, he's got stone formations on his elven visage, and he says, "I can lead the way to the stables and let you in."
Very well.
I look at Gerald and say, he's the delivery boy. He's not the one who sent the package. And I point to the dead man. We need to go to the mines. That's where the package originated, and that's where it was sent. That is, and he pounds his chest, my feeling.
It's probably right. And with any luck, that's where the gnome's headed.
Yes, let's
Might
find
lead us
these...
right there.
Find these mines, apprehend this Hobrek, and torture him until he squeals like a stuck pig.
Now, you are less familiar with the wastelands and the canyons and the wastes, especially at night. You may need to inquire of how to get to these mines.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a history check or a nature check. Anyone in the party, just to see if you know anything. Yes.
Would my background being the constable, have I ever visited these mines?
No, you'd have no reason to. You stay in town and at court.
Okay.
I rolled an 18.
18's good enough. So you know it's in a southeastern direction, and that there is a large cliff that Goliath caravans frequent to make offerings to their deities, and that is the landmark to the entrance of the mines. And at the top of the cliff, there is a visible altar in the shape of an eagle.
As we're walking through the desert,
Are you walking through the desert, or are you going to the stables?
Yes, I think the stables.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. To the stables, absolutely.
Once.
Were you going to ask if you're going to travel single file to hide your numbers?
I mean, that's a given.
It would actually be really hard. Zakar doesn't ride a horse. He's too big. But being a
these are large.
They're large horses?
and Andalusian. So over the course of the empire, they have bred war horses.
Okay.
But you'd probably want a large mount. So here's a question. When Zakar does ride a mount, what does he ride? Because he has been given a mount by the Empress, but maybe it's a little different.
It's a big cow.
It doesn't fly, but what does he travel through the mountains and the
Sky
desert on?
bison.
Oh man, I want to say a rhino.
Got it.
A rhino S.
Hell, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
He has a
dope.
rhinoceros.
Yeah.
I like that. What's his
I will-
rhino's name?
What's the rhino's name? You know what? I'll let chat make that up. They can name my rhino. There you go.
Rhino,
Alright.
rhino face.
Ugh, thank you, chat. No. For the time being, we're going to call him Orlando.
Or okay, we'll call him Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando. So, Orlando, the rhino. All right, so you have Orlando, the rhino. You go to the stables. There is a watchman on duty, but he recognizes you guys and understands that you are on a mission from the Empress. Now, I'm curious, what mount does Gerald take? There are a number of options. An ostrich.
I mean, if there is some kind of destria, I feel like Gerald probably would feel at home on the back of a horse.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, preferably, like unicorn, like evil unicorn would be dope. But I think he'd take a horse in a case where there are some normal.
In fact, it's not quite a horse. It's more of an old nag. But
Good.
she has the most beautiful eyes, and she is the kindest, most gentlest horse, and it is the only creature on the face of this earth that gives Gerald any sort of comfort in his heart. I
mean, I say you have beautiful eyes,
and
I very much like them.
It's his, this old nag is his only friend. What's the horse's name?
And the horse's name will be Truffles.
I like that, Truffles.
Because we will hunt together.
My rhino's name,
Truffles.
and I'm going to take it from chat.
Okay.
So we don't get sued for IP. Somebody said Rocksteady, and those of you who want a little,
we're not going to get sued anyways.
Really? Okay.
I don't think we will.
Well, that's it. Okay. Anybody who wants to know
I'm willing to gamble.
A little backstory. I love TMNT. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And when I found out that Bebop and Rocksteady was going to be in the new Michael Bay film, which was not really good at all, I was so excited. So we're going to name it Rocksteady. I have a rhino named Rocksteady. There we go.
Love it.
Awesome.
Now, Basilio, you do have a family steed that has been given to you. And this steed was actually given to you by your mother for your birthday. Tell me about your horse.
Oh, so my horse is this majestic knightly destrier, however you pronounce that, and he is so much like this horse is so much more masculine than Basilio is. He is so knightly and proud, and Basilio does not fit the sort of caliber of this horse at all, but he loves him, and he has named him Sunflower,
which the horse resents to this day. No.
Yep.
Silvestro jumps on his faithful steed, Midnight, and he says, "All right, let us make haste. Which of us is the best tracker?"
I don't
everyone
look
volunteer at once.
interested. Yeah. I can hunt a man in a city, but I've never been out to those wastes before.
I grunt and I give like a bullish snort, and I say, "We don't need to track. I know where we're going." And he just plows off.
We're going to the mines
in one direction. If I've ever been there, I haven't. But if I ever have been, Minotaurs have labyrinthian recall. I can recall.
You feel that you know the location.
I know the location, but not the path to get there.
And you recall in your head. Fighting a mighty battle where there was a disagreement over terms. This was long ago. This was during the dark times. Mm-hmm. And you recall being at this rock where the Goliath meet, and you recall passing the front of the mines, and you are certain that you could find your way there. It may prove a little challenging, but you have that thought in your head. So the Garl Stone Mines are roughly a 2 days ride. How fast do you want to go there? Do you want to ride all through the night? Do you want to make camp? Do you want to stay in the city tonight first? What would you like to do?
Even though I've taken a wound or two, I think Gerald is still fit enough to travel throughout the night. And I mean, with the Empress...
I'm going to assume everyone's had the benefit of a short rest while they were getting the horses ready.
Okay. Then Gerald would definitely want to push forward, the Empress, well, this is perhaps the most important task for any of us. We should not tarry here any longer than we need, so let us be to these Gilestone mines.
All right, so we're headed to the Jellystone mines.
Jelly
No,
mines.
we need to change it every time we say it. I want everyone to make for me a Constitution saving throw as you ride out into the desert into the night.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Rolled an 18.
Oh, that's a gentleman's 10.
All right, so
6. The desert does not agree with my constitution.
you ride all night, and as you travel throughout the night, you begin to suffer a level of exhaustion, both
Bollocks.
Basilio and Gerald. Zakar is, hurry up, and let me roll for Silvestro.
I'm going to roll, since we did have a short rest, I'm going to roll one of my hit dice.
Silvestro is exhausted too.
I
Go ahead.
would probably do the same. Let's see.
4. Okay.
All right, and you ride all night,
Good.
and you have come to the canyon, which leads to the Garlstone mines. And as you're traveling, the sun has begun to rise, and there is a procession of Goliath. There appear to be about 7 of them, traveling at a slower pace than you, past beyond the mind. What would you do?
7 Minotaurs around the mine. Okay.
Goliath.
Goliath,
so
sorry.
they're-
Okay.
And they seem like they're going past it. They're not going in it. It almost seems like this is like their morning worship group.
Right,
They're
right,
going to ascend up the mountain.
Right.
I approach the Goliaths, and I give them, because these are Goliaths. They're very honorable creatures.
Yes, they're big. They're honorable.
and
They do most of the deliveries for the Empire because they can survive the wastes.
I go up to them and I put a fist to my chest, clanking my armor. Excuse me. I am looking for a small gnome and a hooded figure.
They sort of look amongst themselves, and one of them speaks up and he says, "We have not seen them."
I see. This is the Gerbil Stone Mines, yes?
Yes.
Hmm.
This is the genital mind. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do it at least once.
There it is.
He goes, "This is the Garlstone mines, where the dwarves defile our sacred mountain."
The dwarves defile the sacred mountain. There are gnomes running about. Poison is being distributed. Very well. Where are you headed, my good Goliaths?
Each morning we ascend the rock, we make our offerings, and then we go back to the village. The
Right.
teacher teaches, and the stories are passed from generation to generation.
And the dwarves defile your sacred mountain by mining it?
Yes.
What
The
do they
mountain
what do
was
they
given
We're
to
no
them by
friends
the
of them.
Empress, who we dare not oppose.
I look back and I said at Geraldo and Basilio, if the dwarves are upsetting the Goliath, we have to ask them to cease and desist.
I suppose so.
Silvestro goes, "But this mountain was given to the dwarves, and it belonged to the dwarves long before the Goliaths," as he spits on the ground in front of the Goliaths, who seem to be a little tense at the situation.
And I look at Silvestro. Why did I almost call him Sinestro? I just fucking pull out a yellow lantern ring and shit. Silvestro. And I say,
And Benvolio.
look, if you do not wish to have a civil war between the Goliaths and the dwarves within the city, I would say we ask the dwarves to cease and desist, at least during their times of worship.
Silvestro, brother, this is a matter greater than race. It is of state.
There is but one faith, and it is that of the Empress. She is divine. They worship false gods. And he kind of points an accusing finger. And you notice the elder of the Goliaths readies his staff.
Basilio is looking clearly uncomfortable right now, but he's not speaking out against either side. He's just sort of looking at the ground, taking a step away from the entire situation.
Whilst I despise any form of worship aside that of the Empress, we must choose our battles. First, we must find this Hobrick, bring him to justice. Then, we very well may return, but I see these creatures doing no foul ill, or no ill will or deed, as of yet. So I suggest that we leave them for a while, and focus on our main task.
And
Go ahead.
I look to the elder Goliath, and I take out a pinch of what seems to be ash, and I reach out to him to have him put his arm into my hand.
Yeah.
And I kind of put like a mark of the ash, kind of like you would when you...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And he's like, blessing of the Minotaur of wisdom upon you and yours.
He appreciates it. He nods very respectfully. He goes, we shall discuss this Minotaur of wisdom another time.
Yes.
Peace unto you. And then they begin to ascend up the mountain. Silvestro does mock them a little bit as they go up. He goes, that's right, walking away.
I take my axe and I turn around and I swing it downwards just to the side of Sinestro.
All right. And you notice he kind of steps back like 2 feet. He goes, I'm beast from... yeah. I'm just a little passionate.
I understand, but I will have no belittlement of other religions in my presence.
Why?
He says.
Yes, I look
Well,
dangerously.
that's impossible because there are no other religions. There is but one.
That is correct. And I look dangerously towards Zakara and say,
Yes.
and we will have no speak of other religions.
I give like a snort and I grab my axe and I start heading into the mines.
All right.
As we're heading into the mines, I want to sort of catch up with Zakara, and I want to just talk to him for 30 seconds as we go in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That Minotaur of Wisdom stuff, that ash you did with the Goliath, that's pagan stuff, right?
I stop.
How do you do that sort of thing?
Sylvester's little head just kind of pokes up the false gods, like right up in your ear, like his
And then
lips just an inch away.
I'm over the other shoulder. False gods, false gods.
No. Basilio's face is kind of lighting up. He says, "How the hell do you have the courage to do that in front of the Inquisitor and his lieutenant?"
Damnation for all.
I look at Basilio and I said, "Do you think any of these knife ears are going to try to question my beliefs?"
I sort of rub my half-elf kind of pointy ear and I say,
Sylvester says it's my duty as a knight to defend mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he is ready to draw a sword. He goes, but we will name the time to settle it.
Of course.
And we will name that time after we finish your current charge.
Yep. We're going. So I look at Basilio. We continue walking down the things, and I impart a little bit of like backstory of the Minotaurs. I say the Minotaurs don't worship gods like benevolent beings from another plane. We worship our strongest. If a Minotaur has gained the glory and the honor in battle, we worship them for how they won that honor and glory. Bandea is the greatest Minotaur queen that any of the Minotaur clans have ever had the honor to represent. She always brought swift ending to every war, and she was extremely wise.
Basilio's eyes are just wide. They're shining. And he says, let's talk about this more again. Maybe when they're not breathing down our necks.
Silvestro turns to Gerald and says, you know what bothers me? When the Minotaurs steal our creation myth and our way of life and spin it as their own.
That's right. Ridiculous.
One empress who's not from another plane runs all these people.
Exactly, and they say
And
that
she loves him.
they say the world is so young.
I turn back and I say, well, she's not living. She's been dead for 300 years.
That is a difference in our doctrines. All right. Now you've gone into the mines. Though,
Yes,
real
we
quick.
have.
It narrows to where it's uncomfortable for you to traverse. Now, I assume the Minotaurs have dark vision, correct?
Actually,
No?
they don't. It's I'm
do.
I'm really
Who turned off
okay.
the light?
So Unearthed Arcana, the Minotaurs are actually based off the Minotaurs from the Dragonlance series
Yeah, Kryn.
of Kryn. So they're actually pirates. So it would make sense that those don't have dark vision, you know. So
Well, are you going to strike up a torch? Do you have a way to light? Is there a light spell, or are you going to stumble about blind?
I have dark vision, but I can cast a light cantrip as part of my dealio.
Do you want to attach it to his horns?
just make them
His
headlights.
And I say, the divine light of the Emperor shine upon these horns and perhaps cleanse them.
I like this idea that this is a light spell. Have you ever seen Hellboy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know how like when they have that like flash forward vision of like the apocalyptic future and
Absolutely.
Hellboy has those
Right-handed
horns,
Yeah.
those giant horns, and right above him there's like this burning crown. I feel like that's how it looks like.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like that. So, as the horns illuminate, you notice the mine narrows. It's uncomfortable for the Minotaur to delve into, but he does make way, and there is an entryway into what appears to be a junction of the mine where it was a larger area where they could branch into many paths. You notice as you come into that area, though, there are slain dwarves all over the floor, and there is a basket labeled Haubrick in the middle of the floor, just the middle of the room. It's been labeled. Someone's written a note, labeled it Haubrick, and set it on top of that basket.
Seems as though we are in the right place.
Dare I look inside the basket?
Dare you?
I think I dare.
All right.
That can't
As
be a
you
trap.
remove, make a Constitution saving throw.
There it is.
As the stench and flies and maggots of the severed head of Haubrick sits in the basket.
No, this day is horrible. I guess it's been a day. This day
Yeah.
is worse than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 5. I failed that one.
Zakar, okay. So you do throw up in your mouth, swallow it, then throw up again. You don't take any damage. It's just kind of comical to the rest of everyone else. Silvestro says, I've got a bad feeling about this. Zakar and Gerald, I'd like you both to make perception rolls.
See what Gerald can see. It's
18.
80.
You know what? I'm gonna inspire the roll.
Okay, so you're going to re-roll?
Yeah.
All right, make another roll. You both notice coming from the branching corridors in each of the corridors, and there are 9 of them, 3 on each wall, with the 4th wall behind you, a single path. They look as if they are diseased dwarves coming out of the corridors. Their eyes dead to the world. Their skin a pale, silky gray color. Their hair stark white. But they are armed and armored. What do you do?
I say, look, this is what you get when you worship false gods. And I am gonna, my quarterstaff, gonna crack it down on the ground as if I were Gandalf. And
You shall not pass!
And then the floor drops.
Then it drops down, and we all die.
Disney World.
Yeah, but it actually forms out into a like 2 little spikes come out from either side of it. So I'd like this to be my like warhammer. So I have a warhammer, I have a core stuff. I figured they're kind of the same thing. You know, in terms of mechanics, I'll still spend however long needed to change weapons and whatnot. But yeah, I just kind of like crack it down into the ground, and the warhammer appears. Right. It's time to test our gods, shall we? The Empress versus the Unholy.
All right. Let's get an initiative roll. None of you have seen dwarves quite like this before, and let's just have a single roll. Let's go ahead and have Zakar roll 1d6.
3.
You are going before them, so you can talk as a team. You guys and Silvestro, how you would like to handle these attackers.
Good to see you. We probably shouldn't get close to them.
Oh, I see. Don't worry. And I can't be diseased.
Don't worry, I'll be fine.
Divine health.
Hey.
I say, there was once a great Minotaur shaman who had blessed all Minotaurs with the inability to be diseased. Makes us strong, makes us hardy. What he doesn't know, it's just the people who believe in that. So.
Well, maybe you can get in there.
Right.
I'll stay out here.
All right, so
I'm ready and raring to go.
You notice. All right, so who on your side's going? What actions do you want to take?
I'm going in. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh, I'm gonna cast Bane on some of these guys just to make them worse at attacking.
All right. So how does that work mechanically?
So I choose 3 creatures of my choice within 30 feet, and they have to make charisma saves. And if they fail, all their attacks and saves are minus 1d4.
They fail.
Woohoo! How many dwarves are there again?
There are 9.
There are 9. So like the
9
the front.
sickly-looking gray dwarves with dead eyes.
Got it. The front 3 are baned then.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sing a Bartok Inspiration for the Inquisitor, and I'm gonna sing.
Sing.
Oh, I don't know. I'll think of something better. Anyway, you're inspired, Inquisitor.
Thank you.
Zakar's gonna run in and hold on, I'm trying to. Okay, so Zakar, how far away are these dwarves? Are they on us?
You are nearby all of them. You're not quite smothered by a horde of.
Are they within melee range?
You could get into melee range.
Okay, so I would have to move to get into melee range?
Correct. You would have to use about half your move to engage in melee with one of them.
Zakar's just gonna dash. and try to charge them, like get bull down and charge. When he does, he makes a melee attack with his horns.
I'm horny.
I'm never unarmed. You are proficient with your horns, which are a melee weapon that deals 1d10 piercing damage. So would I roll strength?
Just make an attack roll with proficiency and strength.
Nice.
Okay. So 1d20 plus 5.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Roll 1d10.
Rolling.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage to
the first dwarf I hit.
You hit him, and then what would Gerald like to do?
I would like to cast Guiding Bolt, probably on a different one. That hasn't been injured yet, and I may end up spending my Bartok Inspiration on this. Let's see. So make a range spell attack, range 120 feet, so I should be able to get him. 18, and I probably won't use my Bartok.
18 hits.
Okay, so it takes 4d6 radiant. Oh man, that was shit. 7 radiant damage. That was absolutely fucking awful. And the next attack roll made against this target before the end of my next turn has advantage. And the spell itself, despite Gerald looking incredibly evil, the spell itself is filled with like light and energy and radiant goodness.
Yes.
Definite dissonance between what he looks like and what his magic performs.
He's like, it's just the best song I know how to play. All right. After that, Silvestro charges up and slashes at a creature with his longsword. He misses completely, and after he misses, he is swarmed as 3 attacks are thrown his way. One of them hits for, and these aren't the ones that are baned. Hit the right button, Grant. 8 points of damage. That's tough on him.
Who's that going towards?
That hits Silvestro. And then 3 more are jumping to attack. Actually, they see the Minotaur, and the one that got charged down. You notice he grows to giant size. He grows to large size and just swells up, filling up a lot of space. And then the next one next to him grows into giant size, and as does a third. And then the ones with Bane, one is attacking homeboy Gerald, minus 1d4. So roll 1d4. We'll subtract 4, so armor class 18 to hit Gerald.
And 18 is definitely a hit. Yeah, my AC is 15.
Okay, he does 5 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
The second one rolls to hit Basilio, and let me make sure he gets a 14 to hit.
Misses by 1.
All right, and then the last one is taking a swing at Silvestro, and even with a -4, he'll hit. So he actually hits Silvestro as well. Ooh, downing him.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Down he goes.
Yeah. Yep. Down
fuck.
goes Silvestro. So he drops to the ground. So top of round. It is now your turn.
Okay. One of them, is, the one that's guiding bolted. I'll point towards him and say, "Minotaur." Referencing Zakar, of course. Not meaning.
Who you call him Minotaur?
I say, "Minotaur, that one, he's weak." So I'll kind of fire off that idea towards the Minotaur, and then I will. Let's see, my healing hands. I got healing hands, Grunt. My hands, they heal. Let me see. The Healing Hands as an action. You can touch a creature and cause it to regain a number of hit points equal to your level. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish the long rest. So I'm going to step towards Silvestro, and rather than using one of my lay on hands, because let's face it, he's an NPC, I'll use my I use my Healing Hands instead.
All right.
And rise, brother.
I live as he sits up. In fact, he pulls out, he grabs his sword and uses his action, since he goes on the same round as you guys, to stab and gets a hit. So, yeah, let's see how he does damage-wise. And he stabs one of these things for a nice chunk of damage.
Good lad.
All right. And then, Basilio, what would you like to do?
If I were to thunderwave these dwarves, how many of them could I get without getting my friends?
You could definitely get 4.
I will take that, and I'm going to cast Thunderwave as a 2nd level spell. And it's a DC 13 Constitution.
It looks like they Constitution, they would have got a bonus. So let me just add. Yeah, they got a 21.
Ooh.
So it's a Constitution saving throw against your. All right, because I'm right in the thick of all of them.
Well, there's 9 total, and you are being engaged by 3 large ones.
Mhm.
He could strategically position himself to hit 4 and not hit his companions.
Okay.
Okay, I'm all right with that. Here comes the damage. Yikes! That's 3 damage to all of them. Horrible roll.
Not a lot.
I've been having bad luck on the dice today as well.
Yeah, it's rough out here.
it's a wasteland, man. This is what playing in one of Bad Boy Graph's campaigns is like.
I know, right? So 3 of them start wailing down on Silvestro, and it looks like 2 of them are going to hit. He is dead again.
Dead again? Damn it, Silvestro.
Yes. And then 3 of them are going to attack our friend the Minotaur. What's his armor class? 18, right?
18. Yep.
All right, so they hit for 13 points. One of the giant ones hits you for 13 points of slashing damage.
Yikes.
Okay.
A 4th one takes a swing at Basilio. He's not going to hit, though. He's penalized as well, so I don't think you have an armor class of 10 or less. A 2nd one swinging at Gerald.
Also, 2 crit successes for Zakar from Arvor. Thank you, my friend. 2 nat 20s.
He's going to be splitting some heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
So, what's the armor class
15.
of Gerald? I got a 14.
Yeah, 15.
So he doesn't hit him, and then the last one misses him as well.
Ha.
So
Die.
neener.
All
right, we are back to my dude's turn. So, what would the party like to do?
Well, I didn't get an attack last turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Take
attack.
2.
Sweet. I'll take 2. Fine.
Take
yeah,
all.
you said it.
Yeah, do double turns.
All right. I'm going to attack the big fatty that attacked me with the great axe.
Do it. Yeah,
24.
you hit that guy.
I'm gonna hit him for 14.
Down he goes. Shrinks down little again, and he's dropped like a sack of potatoes.
Let's see. I'm going to then turn to the nearest one on the same attack and use hammering horns to shove one of them like further away from my companions. I can shove them like a max of 5 feet. So
All right. So go ahead and
athletics for 14.
yeah, you shove that guy. Whoa! Does anyone want to make an opportunity attack as he is shoved past them? Basilio and Gerald both can.
I will. Yeah, I will use my quarterstaff come warhammer to strike out with the crunchy head of that for...
Can we make opportunity attacks with forced movement?
He moves past you, so I'm just going to assume that you can.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Welcome. 14.
14 does not hit. 24 does.
20.
That's a bit more like it.
1d8 plus 3. Oh, gotta roll.
Ha!
8.
8 points of damage. He's that's another one down. All right, and
Okay.
then
Second attack
yes,
for a 20.
hits.
14.
That's a third one down. They're starting to
Okay.
drop.
Then he turns to another one, and then he notices that when he shoved the other one, it weakened his stance to allow his fellow party members to attack him. So he's makes a quick decision and takes another one and starts shoving them towards, like, past his friends.
All right, go ahead and make a shove.
All right. I'm gonna nat 20 that. I'll use one of my nat 20s.
Okay, you shove him and he goes flying, but the party's already used their reaction, so they don't
Okay.
get free swipies. With that said, as he hits and falls on the floor, let's go ahead and do Basilio and Gerald's turn.
Even though the dice have been rolling very poorly for me, I'm gonna give it another Thunder Wave. I think that's my best option right now. This time at first level. So I think we can get 4 more dwarves to make Constitution saves.
15 and 18, 11 and 13. So is it like half and half?
It's DC 13, so only one of them fails it.
Okay.
So let's roll 2d8. As another thunderclap rolls through this cavern. My
Ugh.
God.
Ugh.
3 damage to the fail and 1 damage to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm still finding my voice, you guys. I just need to. Hey.
Warm-ups, vocal warm-ups, Basilio.
All right, Gerald.
Lolly 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 la.
How many do we have in our way at the moment?
4.
Ooh,
Actually, 6.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. That's a
Yeah.
little different. Anything that does no. In that case, I will Warhammer into the guy closest to my body, standing over Silvestro as I swipe on a. Damn it, a 14 again. Just
Well,
can't get it.
Yeah. You swing with your mighty warhammer. It narrowly misses by an inch or two. You notice all these creatures turn invisible, and that they blink out of sight, and that's where we're going to end the session for now.
Ah!
Oh, everyone's invisible. Ah!
Ooh, it was all a dream. No, well, you've been introduced to Dwargar for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope,
Deep
dope.
dwarves.
Yeah, they living in that mountain. They defiling it.
Well,
They gave us a beating, holy moly. Okay, cool. Well, that, my friends, is the premiere of the Court of the Elves. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I certainly had a great time here today. Of course, next week we'll be joined by Madame Gandalf and Silfulu as well to complement and complete our group, 5 strong, next week. So really looking forward to getting them on board as well. But I had a great time with these guys today. If you enjoyed the show, please do let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, hit that follow button on the channel if you haven't already. Tonight, in about an hour and a half's time, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be DMing the Save or Dice show on twitch.tv/Save or Dice for Dave from Nerdarchy, amongst others, including Cody from Taking 20 and Jim and Pruitt from the WebDM show on YouTube. So drop along tonight, Dark Fantasy D&D5E. It's the third show of the day, looking forward to it. But let's go around the cast and crew. Do we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with the bad boy Grant himself. What do you think of tonight's show, my friend?
all right. Well, I enjoyed it. Obviously, with my travel schedule, it made it a little challenging to prep, but I had some ideas I definitely wanted to execute.
yeah.
And this campaign is really just a love letter to the last campaign. I really love the Encounter Roleplay community. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve as a dungeon master for this community for another season. And this campaign, while I've been traveling, I've just been reading a lot of inspirational material, and I really like our party, and I really like the characters, and you guys did an excellent job role-playing tonight. You can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. I'm also on Twitch as Grant R. Ellis. I'm an independent designer and adventure author. Brave New Worlds will be coming out Q1 next year. There should be 2 books, and depending on how Quarter the Elves go, we may have a 3rd book on our hands, guys, that's been inspired by the Encounter Roleplay community.
That's awesome. That's awesome stuff. Great news. Well, looking forward to that. Zippy, what do you think, my man?
I always have fun when I get to come and play with the cast here on Encounter Roleplay, as well as the fun interactions with chat. I'm Zippy Zippo. You can find me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play a bunch of games, and I love to chill. So if you like to chill, come chill with me.
All right. Great pitch. I love it. James.
What an incredible first session. Thank you, Grant. I love your world. Your world is so cool and inspiring and inspired. I'm going to enjoy playing it for the rest of the series. And what awesome characters. I'm going to get kind of actory here for a moment, but I can't wait to explore the relationships that these characters will create with each other. We've got great chemistry. I think we would all agree on that.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want to find me online, my Twitter handle is right up there, James J. Hake. I am a role-playing game author. I do a lot of stuff for D&D. If you want to support me, you can buy an adventure I wrote featuring mind flayers called The Temple of Shattered Minds. It's my pinned tweet on Twitter. You can find it there. Or you can buy the Critical Role Kaldore campaign setting, which I co-authored with Matthew Mercer just last year. It's incredible.
What?
And you will love it.
That is badass.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on me. There's plenty more D&D stuff coming out from me in the next couple of months.
We like to hear. Great stuff. Well, my friends, hopefully you enjoyed tonight's shows. Of course, like I mentioned, I'll be on a Save or Die show later on for those of you either in the US or those real late night Europeans like myself. So drop on over here. Go follow these chaps once again. Thank you to everybody for all of the donations. Alvor in that last one. Charis as well. Let's see. All the subs as well. Thank you guys so much. A lot of support today throughout this whole month and the past weeks as well. So we'll be on several days later on. And of course, back same time next week. There's a new thing apparently on Twitch called Raids. We're going to try one. Apparently I do /raids, then D&D.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I haven't tried it yet. This just came in like last night, right?
Yeah, so what it does is it does like a raid call, and everybody who wants to join in on the raid can hit it. It'll count it up, and it's their way of actually showing accurate numbers when you go and host somebody. Because there've been so many times where you'll host somebody with like a huge number, like and then 12. It'll say 3.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, well, let's try that. Let's see if that button appears. Should appear at the top. You should be able to click join there. It gives you about 30 seconds, it looks like. So click the join. We're going to go watch D&D. The misclicks are on at the moment with Koibu, Britt, and Curtis as well over on there. So we'll go show them some love. Of course, you can watch our own D&D show every Saturday there at 6 p.m. Learn by Play. It's a great place to be. Other than that though, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you to Grant once again for running this fantastic game. I cannot wait to explore the worlds once more, and excited to play Gerald as well. Getting to play a villain as a PC is like my favorite thing because I love playing NPC villains, and now I get to play one all the time. Alright guys, well, I will see you guys in a little while. Until then, try not to throw too many nat ones. Want to be here laughing when you do. Good night everybody, and farewell. Bye!
Woo. Good job!
All right.